Hello and welcome back to another video. Today here again on Forza Horizon 5 to take a very first look at the rip-off that is the new Universal car pack, which I've spent 8 of my Great British pounds on so that you don't have to. As with all the previous paid car packs here in Horizon 5, the easiest way to get hold of it is to go to any festival site, go to the buy and sell tab and go to car packs, where you'll find the Universal Icons car pack, which includes the DeLorean from Back to the Future 1, the DeLorean from Back to the Future 2, the DeLorean from Back to the Future 3, the Jeep from Jurassic Park, and KITT from Knight Rider. So effectively, although it's priced as if it has 5 cars in it, which technically it does, with 3 of them being the same, we're effectively paying that price for a 3-vehicle pack. Let's begin with the 3 DeLoreans then, which for legal reasons are not DeLoreans in any way, and are in fact Back to the Future time machines with no connection to the motor company whatsoever. They all produce 130 horsepower, which coincidentally is the same as a DeLorean. These time machines though weigh more than a DeLorean, probably because they have stuff all over them. The first 2 are 1320 kilos and the third one 1330. Despite the cars from the first 2 movies having identical stats and feeling exactly the same to drive, the second one is 2 PI lower at 453, where the first one is at 455. There is quite a drop in rating to the third car, however, which sits at 335 because of those ancient tyres it's equipped with, which make it have less grip than a dog on a rug, even at very low speed. I love that when you hit 88 miles per hour in these, that some of the exterior parts illuminate. It's a shame then that on my custom circuit, they were so dismally slow that they couldn't even reach that. Getting quite close, but the highest I saw was 86. A bit like in the films then, where they had to change the numbers on the speedometer to make the car look like it was doing 88, when in fact it was a lot slower, because they weren't hitting it otherwise. Anyway, this is what they should look like when they do eventually hit 88. On the exterior, there are fairly obvious visual differences between the 3 cars. The first car's flux capacitor, being plutonium powered, looks slightly different to the 2 on the second and third car, which aren't. And the third car having the different wheels and the alternative to a battery on the bonnet, which all fit with how they were in those films. The further attention to detail and minor other changes are quite cool though. The fact that they all have the correct date showing on the interior for the film that each one corresponds to, and the slight changes to even the cabling to reflect the movie that each car is from. So there is some cool attention to detail, but I still think it should really only be priced as if this is 1 car and not 3. So the pack should be priced as if it has 3 cars in it and not 5. But they are nicely detailed. So as all 3 DeLoreans appear to have the same painting and upgrade options as each other, let's just use this first one to show you what is available. Now of course there's only 1 manufacturer colour, strangely just like a DeLorean despite it not being one, but there are advanced painting options. So we can go to group 2 and, well, paint the front and rear parts in a different colour, which again, strangely, is exactly the same painting options that we get on the DeLorean, which these obviously aren't. Over in the upgrade shop, there of course aren't any body modifications because it's a time machine and they don't want us kind of messing with it. But there are some engine swaps. We can put in a V10, a V8, a V8 twin turbo, and a V8 racing engine. I have checked, these are all exactly the same on all 3 cars. They all also have all-wheel drive swaps, and they all have twin turbo conversions. Interestingly though, this first one is the only one that has the centrifugal supercharger option. Apart from that though, they're all the same as each other. They have all of the kind of tyre upgrades you would usually see in Forza Horizon 5, tyre widths and track widths of course, if you want to change any of that, and the same drivetrain, platform and handling, and engine upgrades. This first one, as an example, if we do full weight reduction, brings weight down to 1,104 kilos, but to be honest, I can't really see myself upgrading any of these cars, because I doubt I'm going to use them for racing or anything. Moving from one iconic 80s movie car to another then, let's take a look at KITT next, which I know very little about. Knight Rider is the only one of these three franchises that I've never actually seen. This car though surprised me actually. For an 80s American car, it was quick, and not completely hopeless in the corners either. Stock we have 495 horses, weigh just under 1500 kilos, and have an overall rating of A743. For reference, the Trans Am, which this has no connection with whatsoever, produces only 210 horsepower and starts in D-Class. Just like the Back to the Future time machines, there is only one manufacturer colour for KITT, and unlike those, there's no advanced painting options. There are a few engine swaps. There's a V10, a V12 and a V8 twin-turbo. There's an all-wheel drive conversion, and you can twin-turbo or supercharge it. You may have also noticed that KITT has a body kit. You can turn it into, I believe this is called Pursuit Mode, where all of these fins and things would come out of the side. You can actually see the engine in that one, which is kind of cool as well. But basically all the white bits, I think, would pop up. And then you would go pursuing baddies, I guess. But anyway, that's an option, so I'm going to put that on. Apart from that though, it's kind of as you would expect. There's your usual tyre options, tyre widths. There's no track width upgrades. We can though do our usual drivetrain upgrades, platform and handling upgrades, and power upgrades. Just out of interest, I am going to check full weight reduction. That brings weight down from 1400 to 1100 kilos. The coolest part of this body kit though doesn't become apparent until you apply the brakes, at which point the air brakes open, with these two side ones that have the red behind and the one on the roof as well. Last, and also to be honest least, here is the Jurassic Park Jeep, which in fact does call itself a Jeep, unlike the two other vehicles which refuse to say they're anything to do with their real-life counterparts. It's not the slowest of the cars in the pack, that would be the DeLorean, but it is the least interesting, not because of the film, but because all it is really is a paint scheme for a Jeep. Yes, it's a different Jeep to any Jeep we've previously Jeeped in this game, but all it was in the film was some paint on a Jeep, which is all it is here. So it's the most pointless vehicle in the pack, even though there's 3 DeLoreans. Anyway, it produces 180 dinosaur power and weighs just under 1500 kilos, putting it at D344. So again, as you might expect, there's only one manufacturer paint scheme. There are, however, some advanced painting options. Group 1 is the main part of the body. Group 2 is the stripes, so you could do them in a different colour. And Group 3 is... you would think nothing, but it's actually the wheel on the back. If that also did the wheels, then that would be amazing. I think for now, though, I'm going to reset it back to how it was. Over in the upgrade shop, there are a few engine swaps. There's a 6.2 litre V8, 5.2 litre V10, 7.2 litre V8, and a 3 litre inline 6. You can also rear-wheel drive convert it, or give it a supercharger. You may have noticed there are some aero and appearance options, and that's because you can put the canvas roof on, which I'm actually going to do, just so I've done something to it. Then there's all of your usual tyre compound options, tyre widths options. Again, there's no track width, just like on KITT. There's all of your usual drivetrain options, all of your usual platform and handling options, which gives you the ability to take weight down to 1,222 kilos, and then there is all of your usual engine upgrades. And that is going to do it for a very first look at the brand new Universal Car Pack here on Forza Horizon 5. I did actually enjoy driving all of the cars a lot more than I thought I would, but given the DeLorean base model was already in the game, even though I know it's not technically based on that, the Trans Am was in the game and an old Jeep was in the game, I feel like it's not really warranted to pay for these, especially given the Jeep is essentially just a paint scheme. I do also maintain that the DeLorean, even if they had it as 3 separate cars in the garage, should only have counted as one vehicle in the pack, and therefore it should have been priced at $3.99 instead of $7.99 if they were going to add a pack at all. The kind of issue of car packs as a whole aside, yeah, I think it should have cost less, because we've essentially got 3 vehicles and not 5 vehicles, and they're all very similar to vehicles we've already got in-game. Having said that, the attention to detail on all of them is pretty good, so I think it's better than I initially thought, but still shouldn't be priced quite so highly. Anyway, as ever, do let me know your thoughts on this brand new car pack, but for today's video that is going to be all, so thank you very much for watching, and I will be back with the next one very soon.